Good morning, guys. My name is SandshrewBogut. I'm back with my second episode of my Showdown series. I'm back against all odds. Didn't expect to last this long, but the good people of Litheo are still going to keep me around for a little bit longer. Before I start, I just wanted to say thank you to you guys. I got a lot more, positive feedback and a lot more views than I expected to. I didn't expect it to really be big, and it was a lot better than I expected, so that was a nice surprise. So thank you, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and you'll keep enjoying it as we're moving forward. Now, I'm recording this a little early, but most of you guys are going to see this, I think, on Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas to all you guys. Hope you have a good time with your family. Happy Hanukkah to my friends who are part of the tribe. I don't know if I can say tribe, that's not bad, right? Sorry if that's somehow offensive. Send all of your complaints to @tipsterjones on Twitter. He'll handle them for you. And happy holidays to the rest of you guys who don't celebrate either. So, through this series, I mentioned last time that if you guys have any suggestions for guys you want me to use, guys you'd like me to build teams around, or themes, you could do it in the comments. I had some nice support for that. Someone was really nice. I think it was someone named Tactical Monkeys, who said to use Mega Beedrill with a Mandibuzz and Heatran core, which I'm definitely going to be doing when I need to pick me up to kind of dominate people a little bit. Some people who were kind of awful, and I'm going to hold it against you for a long time, suggested Mega Audino. So I'm obligated to use that. I'm going to not enjoy it. It's going to be my fodder, so I'm just going to sack it off immediately every time, but I guess I'll have fun with that part of it. Also, I wanted to ask for you guys, every time I do one of these videos, I think I was going to do it like how I did the first one, where I don't really break down my team. I'll mention one or two things here and there, but I'll kind of just go into it. So let me know if you guys would like me to actually break down teams, do a separate 5-minute video on that, or if you want me to just keep doing it the way I'm doing it. I'm happy to kind of oblige you guys with whatever. So this week, as you can see, this is a UU team. I was initially just trying to do OU for this series, but I wanted to use Mega Pidgeot. It was my first guy that was suggested, and it's also my second favorite Mega, so I definitely want to use it. And I was going to have it initially go through OU, and I was going to make a team, and I was going to set it to Taylor Swift, Shake It Off. Well, it just tore through teams. But that didn't go as well as I planned. When I was practicing, it was kind of bad. So, I kind of have some bad news for you guys. Mega Pidgeot does not belong in OU. I'm sorry, I feel like I've let all of you down. I will do my best to do better in the future. So we're going to do UU, where it actually works okay, because you get a lot of fighting types in UU. You've seen a lot of Machamps, Mineshaw, Toxicroak. So we're doing OU, or UU this time. So you can see my team is centered around that Mega Pidgeot right there. I have Empoleon and Hippowdon as a defensive core. I like how they work. Empoleon's got Toxic, Defog, Scald. I thought it got Roost until just when I was building this team earlier. I had no idea. I also have Alakazam. Sashed Alakazam is just one of the best UU guys there is. I can't believe it's UU. It's so good. Toxicroak, another solid guy, and Escavalier. Escavalier is my mascot for my LBA team. I am the Cleveland Escavaliers. And I never used it till like a month ago, and I just started, and it's so good. So I have an Assault Vest, Max HP, Max Attack, Escavalier. It helps for electric guys, something like Raikou that has Hidden Power Ice. I can switch Escavalier into it, it can take up hits, and I don't have to worry about switching a Hippowdon and risking getting hit by a super effective move. So we're going to get going. We're going to try to get a few battles. I've liked this team a lot when I've been practicing. I haven't lost with it yet, but I'm probably going to. Holy crap. This is the worst. I'm going to assume that's Mega Beedrill that he's got. Mega Altaria is solid for UU too, but you wouldn't use regular Beedrill. So he's probably going to lead with Galvantula. He'll want to get webs up. Some things that are going to cause me some problems. The Scrafty, I can't let him set up too many Dragon Dances. The Beedrill is a bit of a problem. If I preserve Escavalier well, I don't have to worry about him nearly as much. Bronzong is always a pain in the ass. I don't have any fire moves outside of Pidgeot's Heat Wave, which I probably might want to alleviate at some point. So I'm going to lead with... If I think he's gonna lead with Galvantula, I will lead with Escavalier. Even if he leads with Beedrill too, he leads with Scrafty. Scrafty, I don't see Intimidate, so that means that he is the other kind. Moxie, I'm just going to go for the Iron Head. He's going to set up Dragon Dances, so I'm just going to get some damage off. I don't want to set up for free. That didn't really do anything. I don't have Dazzling Gleam on my Alakazam. I'm going to go into Hippowdon, and I'm going to Yawn, just to try to phase him out a little bit. I need to hope he doesn't have the Ice Punch. If he has the Ice Punch, I might just get swept immediately. Drain Punch is okay. Yeah, that's not going to do much of anything. So I'm going to yawn him now, and then I'm going to try to get on my rocks. If he wants to do more damage to me next turn, that's fine. I can always slack off what I need. He's going to get rid of my leftovers. That's great, because now he's going to go to sleep, and I can get a free slack off. I don't know if he's going to switch, though. He's a Shed Skin Scrafty. Alright, that's not ideal. So we are going to go... So he's just going to Drain Punch again, I know that. I'm going to Yawn again, and my goal will be once he falls asleep. It's going to be a little risky, but I'm going to try to switch into Pidgeot. So I'm going to slack off any damage that he'll do to me. He won't, he's just going to go to sleep. And he doesn't wake up, so I can go into Pidgeot now, which is nice. I can get my free Mega, and he'll probably switch at this point. Oh, thank God we lived that. That would have been terrible. Alright, so we take him out. That did a lot of damage to my Pidgeot, which I wish it had not, but kinda had to there. So Pidgeot getting a kill on a super effective Hurricane, so not much is going to live that. He has the Bronzong he can go into. I have Heat Wave, but it wouldn't do enough that I'd feel comfortable just going for it. So I think I would U-turn it. He goes into Altaria. What? I don't really know what Altaria can do. I don't face him that often. I never use them because I hate how it looks. And he's going to forfeit. Alright, that is okay. I'll take that. So we're going to move on. That was a solid first battle in which I almost got screwed over. And he has the Blissey, Swampert, Milotic. This is a bulky team that I do not appreciate. I think he'll probably lead with a Zelf. So he likes to usually get up rocks. They're good leads. You get Explosion. If he leads with a Zelf, I think I'm going to lead with what is going to be a problem for my team. Alakazam is a bit, if Empoleon's at a high amount of health, he can live a Focus Blast and retaliate with Scald, and then I have Sucker Punch on Toxicroak. Alakazam is going to be very important for me because I have Psyshock to hit Blissey, and I also have the Energy Ball on it, so I can one-shot Swampert, and I'll do solid damage to Milotic, and also for the Roserade as well. I'm not worried about the Roserade though unless he has Hidden Power Fire, because the Scavalier can handle him. So if he leads with a Zelf, he could also lead with Roserade for Toxic Spike's lead. I think I'm going to lead with Pidgeot and just get a Hurricane off. I love the Confusion chance on it. As Elves are normally physically bulky, I think. Yeah, he's just going to get his rocks up. I'm going to hit him with a Hurricane. I'm going to be faster now because I'm Mega'd, so I'm just going to U-turn out. That's great that it knocks him out. So now I get a free switch, but he's going to unfortunately get Switch Initiative. I probably should have just killed it and then U-turned when his Blissey came in. What does his team deal with? What's the biggest problem for his team on my side? That's dead air. This is just riveting video right now. Alright, I'm going to go into Scavalier, because that'll tell me a little bit about his team. If he goes into Roserade, I can assume it has the HP Fire. I think he's just going to go into Swampert, go for the Scald. We will see. Toxicroak does well against his team too. If I can weaken the Swampert and the Milotic, if I get up a Swords Dance, it's basically over. Nothing really can take a Drain Punch. I also have Gunk Shot, which after his Swords Dance, Gunk Shot does like 70-80% to a physically defensive Milotic. I'm going to go for the knockoff. He has a Fire Punch Alakazam. That is not Focus Sashed. Alright. And he's going to forfeit. So that was not the most entertaining one. I mean, you know, Fire Punch Alakazam. That was solid in Pokemon Crystal. Not so much now. So we are 2-0 with 2 forfeits, although I can't really count that second battle because, I mean, no offense to any of you guys that run Fire Punch Mega Alakazam, but you know. So this is a very, kind of a scary team. He has the Fortress, which is always annoying to deal with. Espeon can be a pain. Crobat, if it's banded, is really, really a problem because he'll outspeed everything on my team. Infernape, if he's mixed with Grass Knot, will do cataclysmic damage to all my guys. I need to knock him out with Alakazam and just hope I can, or the Sash will hold. He's either going to lead with Fortress or Crobat, I think. So I'm going to lead with, I'll lead with Pidgeot. And he leads with Blastoise, that's interesting. I'm going to Mega and just U-turn out into Empoleon. He'll probably just Mega go for the Water Pulse. Maybe he'll switch, that'd be nice. I guess he doesn't have a ton of defense. Yeah, he's just going to Mega. So I'm going to go into Empoleon. I could have gone on the Toxicroak. That probably would have been smarter. Now I think he's going to go for the the Water Pulse. But he can, but I can take it. I don't want a Toxic because he has 2 immunities and the Magic Bounce Espeon, so I'm just going to go for the Scald. Aura Sphere I can take pretty well. Not nearly as well as I thought I would. That's not ideal. Don't get the burn. So he's going to Aura Sphere again. I can go into Escavalier, but I don't really want to take an Aura Sphere Water Pulse combo, so I'm going to go in the Toxicroak. Because I can take at least 1 Aura Sphere. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. And I can just go right for the Drain Punch. I don't want to Swords Dance or anything this early. And if he goes in the Fortress, that's fine. He'll do some damage. I don't really care so much about that. I just want to, since Fortress has no recovery, you obviously want to just try to chip it down as much as possible. He goes into Espeon, and he gets critted. Alright, that's interesting. I don't know why he would do that. I guess, well, he would have taken it better. I'm just going to Sucker Punch because I don't know what this thing can do to me if it doesn't attack. He tried to kill me. So that's great. Espeon's a problem. That was stopping me from getting my rocks up at some point. The smarter play for him would have definitely gone into Fortress, because even though it's a neutral hit from Toxicroak, which has solid attack, it doesn't do too much. So now he goes into Crobat. That thing, Brave Bird, will obviously kill me. So I think I'm going to go into Hippowdon, and then I can get my rocks up safely. He can go into Vaporeon or Blastoise from there, that's fine. So he U-turns, that's a great play on his part. He made up for the Espeon play a little bit there. He can get some momentum, he can go into Blastoise, and I don't have a lot for it. Or he can go into Vaporeon, which is a problem too. He goes into Blastoise. So he's been making, up until that U-turn, he's been making pretty aggressive plays to hit my guys. So I think I'm going to predict the Water Pulse. I think he wants the Water Pulse Hippowdon because he knows it'll deal damage to Empoleon too. So I'm going to go right into Toxicroak for that Dry Skin. Because sometimes it's a bit of a surprise, people don't expect it. Yeah, there we go. That's great. So he's probably going to switch into Fortress. I don't think he's going to stay in. He doesn't have a lot to hit Toxicroak, which is nice that it can deal with Blastoise that way. So he's probably going to go into Fortress or Crobat. So I think I'm going to double. But into what? I'm going to double into Alakazam because I can hit Fortress pretty hard with Focus Blast or even Shadow Ball if I don't want to risk the miss. And I can knock out that Crobat with a Psyshock, and that Crobat is a pretty big threat to me right now because it outspeeds my Pidgeot. It's stopping my Pidgeot from sweeping. So he goes in the Crobat, so that's perfect. He's going to U-turn. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball. I'm not thrilled with breaking my Sash. I actually really don't want to break my Sash. I'm just going to Shadow Ball though, that's fine. Because I think it'll be a solid, it might be a 2-hit KO on Fortress. He goes to Vaporeon. Oh, that is nothing. So I have Energy Ball, but based on that damage, I don't want to go for it at all. I could go for the Psyshock. It'll be a 2-hit KO from that range. He could just go for the Scald and kill me though. I'm going to go into Empoleon. I don't really need Empoleon for a lot against this team. He's nice for the Vaporeon, but Toxicroak will probably wall it pretty well, because most Vaporeons only have one attacking move. He doubles in the Crobat, that's really well done by him. What was he predicting for the double? He must have been predicting Toxicroak. So I'm going to Scald. Oh wait, no, Vaporeon gets Water Absorb, that's really stupid. I don't think he'll stay in. He can Brave Bird me, but it won't do a lot, so I'm just going to Toxic. So that Crobat is likely banded. It could be Scarfed, but its speed is so high, I don't really know why you would Scarf Crobat. He's using it very well, he's preserving it. So that's good, I get the Toxic on. I'd like to get my rocks up as soon as possible, just because I'm letting that Crobat switch in basically for nothing every time. So what is he gonna do? Is he gonna double again? I'm gonna go into Escavalier, because Aura Sphere isn't gonna do anything. Now he will likely go into Infernape. I don't think he won't go into Crobat, because Crobat will not take an Iron Head well at all. I'm gonna go for the knockoff. He stays in a Water Pulses, which doesn't do a lot either. So he gets critted, and he's gonna go down to Toxic, which is great. Now he has a free switch into Infernape though, which is a problem. That Infernape is an issue. As long as I have Pidgeot though, I'm not too worried about it. So Fire and Escavalier does not mix so well. So I'm going to go into Hippowdon. We'll see how this goes. He might be a mix Infernape. He goes right for the Fake Out, which is perfect because now I can just get up my rocks. I can live, even if he Grass Knots, that's completely okay. Or do I want to Yawn him? Predicting a switch. I want to get on my rocks, it's really important. So it's great that he went into Crobat. Crobat can't really touch me. Even if he's one of those crazy mix sets that have... Does he get Giga Drain? I know he gets Heat Wave. So I'm just going to Yawn. I think he was predicting the Earthquake. But the most important thing to me was to get up those rocks. And he forfeits too. Okay, I'm sorry about all the forfeits, guys. I know it's not always the best. I would have liked to have seen how that played out, because he was still in a good spot. I didn't have a lot for Crobat. I just had Hippowdon. But I guess he figured when Blastoise went down, I don't know. So we've gotten through 3 battles in a really small amount of time. I'd like to at least get 1 battle that goes through all the way. Oh, I thought this was the same guy for a second. So he has a really, really high-powered offensive team. Tornadus, Entei, Honchkrow. Honchkrow is always a problem. Ampharos is interesting. So the Ampharos is going to be a bit of a problem because obviously my special wall, which is Empoleon, doesn't do great against it. Empoleon is good though because it can stop Thundurus pretty well. So what will he lead with? He'll probably lead with Tornadus. That would make a lot of sense. He could also lead with Entei. I'm going to lead with Pidgeot. He leads right with that Ampharos, so that's a problem. I got a U-turn out. I do not want to take anything from him. And I'm just going to go into Escavalier. Escavalier Mega Horn hits everything on his team, at least neutrally, except for the Entei and the Thundurus, Tornadus, the Genie thing. I haven't seen any Ampharos in the EU, that's kind of nice, although it's kind of shady. I'm going to start the timer. It's taking a little bit too long. Someone told me I make my moves too quickly, which I probably agree with. I should probably think them out a little bit more, it can cost me. So he's just going to go right for that Mega. I'm going to hope he's not one of those freaking cotton guarding Ampharoses, because that would just be the worst of problems. There he goes right for the Dragon Pulse, that's great. He doesn't get Flamethrower. He could have HP Fire, but in this tier you don't really have to worry about Scizor or things that you would have HP Fire for. So I don't believe he'll stay in. He's either going to go in the Swampert. The Entei is a good switch, so I'm going to go for the knockoff. He's going to Volt Switch out. That is a lot. Escavalier can usually sponge special hits. So he could go... Yeah, he goes in the Entei, so it's great. I'll knock off the item, because if he's Scarfed... Expert Belt. That's smart. Running Expert Belt on Entei is great because you can surprise the guys for switching up the moves. So I'm going to go into Hippowdon. He'll probably Sacred Fire. Yep, so that does a lot for a fully defensive Hippowdon. So I'm kind of leery about going for the rocks. Although I don't think he'd go into Espeon, because if I were to Earthquake, if he's predicting me to Earthquake, the Espeon would take a ton of damage from it. So I think I'm just going to go, I'm going to risk it and go for the rocks. And he goes into Tornadus to try and dodge an Earthquake, so that's great. Now Tornadus gets Prankster, Defiant. I'm not really worried about Tornadus so much. I have Empoleon, which resists its stab. It probably gets Focus Blast. And he won't go for Hurricane. I think in Sand, Hurricane's neutral. It's Sun where it's 50% accurate. So it's great I got the rocks up. He has no way to spin them, so each time that Entei comes in, the Honchkrow and the Tornadus, each time they're going to take 25%. His team has a big rock weakness, and he has no way to get rid of them unless Tornado somehow gets defogged, which it wouldn't, because it's 5th gen. So just a reminder, guys, to let me know what guys you want to see me use in the comments underneath. I appreciate you guys being so good with the participation, I guess, trying to help me out with that. The more people who tell me things to do is the more weeks I can put between myself and Mega Audino, and that's good for all of us. I mean, unless you guys like pain and misery, you guys don't want me to use Audino too much. It's kind of not viable at all in singles. So he took a while to make that move. He went right for the Grass Knot, so that's great. I can take that pretty well. No, I'm a little worried he has the Focus Blast, and I have no way to scout for it. But I could go for the Scald, because Scald will hit everything except for the Ampharos. He might go right into the Ampharos. I might want to get a Toxic off on it. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Toxic. I'm going to predict him to go into Ampharos. This guy is continuing to take a long time to make his moves, which isn't a bad thing. It just isn't the best when you're trying to record a video and I have to talk for the 30 or 40 seconds in between. And he forfeits again. Alright, this is getting more than a little annoying. I might scrap this recording and have to re-record over the weekend. Because, I mean, he's forfeiting when people are forfeiting when they have 6 or 5 guys. On the bright side, it's getting me higher up the ladder, so I'll have battles that are probably a little bit better. That's the thing I don't like about Showdown, that you forfeit so easily. I don't like that. It can just, like, people will drop after the first turn. So this guy has kind of a scary team. The Galvantula, which is a problem. He also has Chestnut, which is Green Scrafty, who's the dude who lets me do these videos, where he's the one who first asked me to do it. It's his favorite wall. I think it's a little overrated, don't tell him I said that. Rudy, if you're watching, I'm sorry. So he could lead with Galvantula, he could lead with also that Liepard, because it's got Prankster, and such a good Prankster user. I think he will lead with Galvantula, so I'm going to lead with this Cavalier. Even if he leads with Liepard, I can knock him out in one shot. He's going to fake me out, but that'll do like 2%. So I'm just going to go for the knockoff on the off chance he switches. He U-turns right out, so he'll probably go into Chestnut. That Chestnut isn't that big of a problem because Megahorn from an Escavalier I've seen before, it does about 45% to a Chestnut, which is huge. That's a massive, massive amount. It's such a good physical wall. Escavalier is a monster. It's becoming one of my favorite lower tier guys so quickly. So that's great. At least that knock off that Rocky Helmet. So he will probably Leech Seed me or Spiky Shield me. So I'm just going to go into Pidgeot. He Leech Seed, which is fine. I'm going to Mega. He's probably going to go into the Florges. So he might Spiky Shield. But I'm going to U-turn. Yep, he's going to Spiky Shield. I could have just roosted just to be a dick a little bit, but that's fine. So Pidgeot's lost some health. I'm just going to Hurricane now. He might predict me to U-turn, or he saw the U-turn, so in case he doesn't expect it, he's going to go into Galvantula. You're not going to take this particularly well. Confuse him. Alright. So that's fine, he'll get some of that back. But I outspeed Galvantula, so I can just safely go for the Hurricane again. If he goes in the Florges, that's fine. That's a free roost for me, but he stays in, so that's great. So my Pidgeot just took out a pretty big threat to me, because those things are problems. Now it's going to be a Mega Blastoise again, which I haven't seen very many of those. He doesn't Mega. I'm going to go into Empoleon. Aqua Ring Blastoise. Alright man, whatever you want. I can freely go for the Toxic. He has no immunities to it. And because he's Aqua Ring, we can assume that he's here to stay for a little while. He'll go for the Aura Sphere now. But I can take it well enough that it's not a 2-hit KO, and I get that nice Toxic off on that Blastoise. So he'll get a little bit of his health back with the Aqua Ring. But it's nice to just have residual damage just to break him down a little bit. The Blastoise is the biggest threat to my team, because the only physical thing I need to worry about is Tyrantrum, and Hippowdon, if I'm at full health, he can Dragon Dance all he wants, and I can get it to the point where Sucker Punch from Toxicroak will take it out. So we'll go into Toxicroak. He'll probably Aura Sphere again. We saw before, it doesn't do anything. I love Toxicroak in this tier, he's so good. Now I'm going to Gunk Shot. If he goes into the Chestnut, it'll do solid damage to that. He wouldn't go into Tyrantrum because I have Drain Punch. He goes into Florges. I don't know why. I guess he was predicting a Drain Punch, but that was a mistake because now that thing's gone. So that's a huge, huge threat to me. That's just destroyed. Now Pidgeot is free to just go for those Hurricanes, and even Tyrantrum won't take him too well. That's why I love Mega Pidgeot, just because even though its move pool is so limited, stuff like Hurricane does so much damage to most things, especially if you can take out the special wall like that. He goes right into the Tyrantrum. Am I faster? I'm not invested at all in speed, so I'm going to say I'm not faster. So I'm going to go and Hippowdon. He goes right for the Dragon Dance. That was risky as hell. He would have got destroyed by a Drain Punch. He's going to Dragon Dance again. You're going to get 2-hit KO'd by this. Oh, weakness policy. Uh-oh. That's why. That's a problem. That's nothing I want to deal with. I'm going to Earthquake again. Maybe I can live an Ice Fang? Oh, he just crunches. Oh, I live. Hippowdon's such a monster. So his biggest physical sweeper is gone, which is nice. I don't have to worry about he forfeits too. I mean, it was kind of inevitable that he would lose that one at that point because he had no resistance to Hurricane anymore, so Hurricane would just sweep through him, but I would have liked to have played that out. I'm not getting the Showcase Mega Pidgeot that much. I'm leading with him, but not usually staying in. So this guy has a really, this is a threatening kind of standard UU team, but this is a really, really strong one, and one that's going to give me some problems. I don't have a lot for the Jirachi. Jirachis are always a problem. I hate Jirachis. The freaking, they could Power Flinch you, they could be Healing Wish support. So he'll probably lead with the Darmanitan or the Beedrill. I will lead with my Hippowdon. If he wants to lead with, he leads with Scarfed Hydreigon. He'll probably U-turn out, but I'm going to go into Empoleon regardless. Empoleon walls a solid chunk of his team. I mean, he obviously doesn't want to take a Flare Blitz or anything from Darmanitan, but I have good matchup against a lot of things. He'll beat Hydreigon one-on-one, unless he has Focus Blast, which a lot of the Scarf ones don't. They usually have U-turn, Draco. So he goes straight for the Draco. That doesn't do anything at all. So that's great. I can go straight for a Scald. Anything that switches in, I have that Burn chance. If he wants to go into Milotic, I can go follow up with a Toxic. If he wants to go in the Jirachi, I can burn him, which would be really nice. That's a mixed Hydreigon. That's actually really bad. Kinda liked, kinda needed Empoleon for it, but I get the burn, which is nice. So I don't think, really, sorry. I mean, it's a 30% chance. It's not like it's that low. I don't really want to save Empoleon for anything. Now that we know that Hydreigon isn't Scarfed, I can outspeed him with Alakazam and take him out. So I'm going to go for the Scald. Yeah, he goes right for the Draco. So he had nothing that really wanted to switch into that either. So that's nice. Oh, that thing is... Oh, Hydreigon goes down too. Forgot about the sand. So it's a double down. If his Darmanitan is Scarfed, he'll probably go into it now. I don't have a lot for Darmanitan, like I said. I have Hippowdon, but now he has no more... That's great, because Beedrills, he's going to go for the U-turn most likely. I'm just going to... He's going to Mega and U-turn, which will do a decent amount to me. I'm going to go for my rocks. He's free to go into Donphan if he wants to try to spin them away. But if he goes into Donphan, that's a free switch into Pidgeot, and I could just go for the Hurricane. And if he protects too, I'll get up my rocks for free. I don't think he'll Mega and Protect. That wouldn't be that smart, because he outspeeds Hippowdon naturally. Yep, he makes the good play. That doesn't do anything. Hippowdon's so good. So he goes into his Donphan. He will likely just try to spin these rocks away. What sucks is that I lost my Defogger with Empoleon. I'm going to go into Pidgeot, and I'm just going to Hurricane. He goes right for the knockoff, so that's kind of nice. So he might want to get rid of the rocks now because he has the two weaknesses to it. He won't take a Hurricane very well. He goes into Milotic, so that's okay. He's going to take a Hurricane. That doesn't do anything. Alright. So now that he has the Milotic in, I'm going to U-turn. He doubles in the Donphan. That was a pretty good play. Although I have my Alakazam with Energy Ball, and I think Energy Ball from this range will knock out Donphan. I know it's kind of bulky though. Oh, he lives at 1. He's going to spin away the rocks. Damn it. That sucks. I'm going to go for Shadow Ball in case he wants to go into the Jirachi. He might just Ice Shard to get damage off before he dies. No, he goes in the Beedrill. He will not take that well. So that's nice. I can go into Hippowdon. No, don't want to do that. Shit. That's my problem with making my moves too quick, because I knew he would just U-turn. I probably should have gone into Escavalier. It doesn't matter, I guess. confused as to what you're going to do with him. Ice Shard won't kill me. I can slack off, and he's just letting me regain my health so I can keep taking those U-turns from Beedrill. And even Flare Blitz from Darmanitan. He's going to get up his own rocks. That is a bit of a problem for Pidgeot. But that's really it. I'm going to get up my own rocks now. He can knock off my leftovers, that's fine. I'm going to yawn him. And then I'm going to go for the rocks. So this is the battle of the large mammals. So it's good now that I have my rocks up. He's going to go into Milotic. I'm going to go into Toxicroak. We saw before Toxicroak as well. He doubles in the Beedrill. That's a good play by him. But what's nice is that Toxicroak has Sucker Punch, and Beedrill's defense is 40, which is just awful. So Sucker Punch will kill him. This guy's played pretty well. I think he'll predict it, but I'd rather let him get a switch back into Donphan or Milotic, just to try to get the Sucker Punch off. And I get it off and he dies, so that's a huge threat that's gone that Beedrill. So it's really, really nice. I forgot that. Yep. He did. Now Donphan at 26% I don't think can take a Life Orb Drain Punch. And he doesn't, so my rocks are there to stay, which is great. So those are two big things for me. Now, Darmanitan is the biggest threat to me right now. I can go into Hippowdon and let him Earthquake, or I can just Sucker Punch, and that'll deal a lot. I don't know. What do I need Toxicroak for? I can't really touch his Jirachi, so I'm just going to go for the Sucker Punch to deal some damage to it. 51%. I think he will now die to Recoil. Yeah, that's great. So that thing's gone. So now I'm going to go into Alakazam. I can super effectively hit each one of his last two guys. So it goes into Milotic. Based on what happened before, that Milotic was specially defensive, so I'm going to go for the Psyshock. And that does a lot, so that's really nice. He recovers up. Oh, it's going to be one of these things. So I'm going to switch up moves. I'll go for Energy Ball to see if it does more. It does not. And this is happening. What sucks is that the Milotic can kind of stall me out, which is a problem. I'm still just going to Psyshock. There's not really a lot I can do. I still have two guys that are weak. Thinking about it now, Toxicroak was a nice... That's cool that he Toxics mine. I'd like a crit right now. That'd really be nice. Nope. Toxicroak was good for the Milotic because I could stop Toxic from happening. I would stop his Scalds. So thinking about it, I probably should have just gone and Hippowdon. That was a misplay on my part, and that was me not making. That was me making my moves too quickly again. So this is a 32-minute video so far, so I think this might be my last one. I didn't realize how long it's gone. That is Scarfed Jirachi. So we now know that he has to go into Milotic. I don't want to go into... I'm going to go into Pidgeot. And I can Roost and get my HP back, so I'm going to do that before I start Hurricaning. I'm going to Hurricane the Milotic because if I get the Confusion, then I have a really good chance. He doesn't get the burn first turn, which is nice, so I'm free to go for my Hurricanes. And I don't get the Confusion, which sucks. I'm going to Hurricane again. I think he's going to recover, so this gives me a chance to just get the Confusion. And he hits himself. That's huge. So now I can go for another Hurricane. I think he will switch out, which is fine. I could have gone for a Roost there, but I just want a Hurricane. I want to get more damage off that Jirachi, and I get a crit. So this is going well. I'm going to go on Hippowdon. He can try to Iron Head flinch me to death, which I think he's going to do. I'm going to go for the Earthquake. It'll kill his Milotic after Stealth Rock's damage. So that's fantastic. So now it's down to 3-on-1. He has to lock himself into a move. He says GG. Is he just going to forfeit? Because he could potentially flinch me to death. Okay, so he's going to forfeit. So we are at 34 minutes, so that's a little bit longer than my last video. I think that's going to be it. This was a kind of a good episode, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to save this or not. If you see it, then you know I saved it. If you don't, then I guess only I know. So I hope you guys appreciated or enjoyed the Majesty of Pidgeot, which came to do in, got some confusions that helped me out a little bit. So this was a lot of fun, guys. I enjoyed the hell out of this one. Remember to leave your comments down below about who you want me to use, and general suggestions for me playing better. If it's maybe Think More, you idiot. Maybe I want a little bit more constructive than that, but I'll take whatever I can get. Thanks a lot for the support, guys. I appreciate it. If you liked the video, hit like. If you didn't, don't do anything. Don't dislike. If you could sub to the Litheo channel, we'd appreciate it. We're 2 away from 100, which is a nice little milestone starting off for us. And we have daily videos every single day, which is actually what daily means, in case you guys didn't know that. So we have those videos every day. Sometimes it'll be my video once a week. We have free-for-alls. We have a really good Nuzlocke that Taryn, the main admin, is doing. Green Scrafty has good NU and UU battles that are up once a week. We have free-for-alls that are always a little bit fun because our British friend Dan is the one who's out first, and his reactions are really funny, so you might want to do that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you next time. Have a great holidays, all you guys. If you don't have any holiday this time of year, I apologize and I'm sorry. So disregard it. Have a great day, you guys.